There's probably a long list of things that many people would prefer to avoid, including politics and aging. Though we may try, these two are inevitable and sometimes they intersect. Later this month, Laura Feldman, who is a grassroots organizer for the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, will speak on the politics of aging at the Panhandle Tiger Bay Club November meeting. Here to tell us more is Club President Father Jack Gray. Father Jack, thanks for being here.
Well, Jeff, I'm just delighted to be with you. It's always fun to talk about things that are a benefit to our senior citizens, and this program is going to be a good one.
It really is. And before we get into that, thank you very, very much for, here's another hat that you're wearing in the community, and thank you very much for all that you do for the community and for the Council on Aging, and we appreciate that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's really a pleasure to serve in a quality organization as the Council on Aging is, well run, well respected, and really does serve the people of our community.
Well, thank you very much. And like you said, this particular presentation does go back to that target market, that group that we serve.
Well, we hear a lot about the politics of aging anymore, and sometimes now that I am one and have reached that Medicare Social Security age, I'm like a lot of people, we're wondering what's going to happen to these programs. The politicians always want to seem to tinker with programs like ours, and whatever your political beliefs are, if you've gone through your whole life and planned for the benefits that you think you've paid into over your career, you hope that Social Security program and Medicare will still be available once you reach the magic age.
Well, this presentation, like you said, is really going to hit home for a lot of people. But before we get in really back into that, tell us a little bit about what is the Panhandle Tiger Bay Club.
Well, the Panhandle Tiger Bay Club is an organization founded in 1977 by Pat Lloyd, who was a columnist for the Pensacola News Journal. And the real premise of Tiger Bay is that we have monthly meetings in which we have speakers who are informative about political and social issues of interest to people in the community. We have really had a diverse group of speakers in recent months. Governor Christ was a speaker several months ago. We had Judge Andrew Napolitano, a constitutional analyst on Fox News, and then followed up by Dr. Howard Simon, who is the state director of the ACLU. So we do bring in a diverse group of people to give interesting topics to folks who come to the meetings.
And it's nice to be able to see those people that we do see on television. Donna Brazil, another one, for example, Dick Morris. It's nice to be able to see them on a local level and maybe get in some questions. I know y'all do take questions at the end of the meetings
We
as well.
do. We take questions. We use the format of the National Press Club, in which people write their questions, and so we have an opportunity to combine and answer more issues that the people in the audience might be interested in.
Well, now, I know for a long time there was a waiting list to join Tiger Bay. It is a very prestigious organization, but are you currently accepting new members? And if so, kind of tell us a little bit about that and membership and how that works,
yes.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, we readily accept new members at the present time. The waiting list has been used up, and so members are welcome to join. It's a really inexpensive club for what one gets out of it. The basic dues structure is $70 a quarter, which includes lunch at the New World Landing. That would be $280 a year if one paid quarterly. But we have a benefit if one pays for a year at a time. The dues are $250 for the year.
But the general public, like for example, say someone maybe wants to try it out, they can come to any meeting as a guest or just make a reservation if they were watching this program and say, hey, I want to go hear Ms. Feldman. They're open to do that.
Well,
correct?
Interestingly enough, Jeff, that's where most of our members come from. Folks who have seen a topic that interests them, they pay the $35. There's a $35 charge for guests or non-members. They come, they experience the meeting, listen to the speaker, have the lunch with us, and decide, well, this is something I would really enjoy doing each month.
Well, let's talk about the program. I know Ms. Feldman is, very experienced in her area. Tell us a little bit about her background. I believe you've met her.
I have. Well, I've met her through the good offices of John Clark, who is president and CEO of the Council on Aging, and it's thanks to John, who has become a friend of Laura's over the years, that she is coming to Pensacola. She's a former school teacher. She once worked for the National Science Foundation, but for the last 20 years, she's been a grassroots organizer for the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. And Laura is charming. She's funny. She puts on a program which is guaranteed to entertain as well as inform. And I have no question in my mind that the folks, regardless of your political bent, regardless of your philosophical attitudes toward government or anything else, you're going to come and be informed and entertained by Ms. Feldman at our November 19th meeting.
Well, tell us a little bit about the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. What is that group?
Well, it's one of those interesting groups. They are, to use the euphemism that we use for groups like that anymore, they are a nationwide advocacy group. They're supported by their members and grants, and their primary purpose on a nationwide basis is to keep the officials in government, whatever their political stripe, from tinkering with the Social Security and Medicare programs. Seniors have come to expect that their golden years will be taken care of by these programs, and so this group is there to ensure that happens.
Well, I know you mentioned it's a nonpartisan group. What do you expect Ms. Feldman to share? Have you got any inside scoop on the presentation?
Oh, I imagine, now I could be wrong, but I imagine following the recent elections that she will have insights into what's going to happen in Washington now that the Republicans have control of the House, the Democrats retain control of the Senate, and of course the president is still Democrat. Each of those groups, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, is going to have some formula probably for tinkering with these programs, and this group is going to make sure that the programs that our senior citizens have come to expect and rely on will not be a political football by either party.
You know, that's perfect for, this time of year right now. Absolutely. In the election season, but also, for seniors, and it's just great to have somebody like this here in our own community where we can hear firsthand. Remind everybody about the actual November meeting, where it is, and how they can get more information. Or they do need to make a reservation, that's correct? That's
correct. And I believe you have the website and the telephone numbers for making reservations on the screen. The meeting will be November 19. All of our meetings on the third Friday of each month. The meetings are at the New World Landing in downtown Pensacola. And, come about 11:30, and you'll have a nice buffet luncheon. The programs start promptly at 12, and we're out of there by 1 o'clock. And, guests are encouraged to come and sample what Tiger Bay is all about for a nominal price of $35, which includes the meal.
Well, Father Jack, thank you very much for bringing Ms. Feldman and to town, and all you do for Tiger Bay and all the other hats that you wear and what you do. You're a great individual to have in our community.
Well, Jeff, I really appreciate that, and I love working with you and John Clark and all of the folks at the Council on Aging.
Well, thank you very much.